Great. Thank you all. Nice to see you and present to you this afternoon. I apologize that my internet is a little bit funky today, so I'm calling in with my phone, and Tina's so great to run the slides for me today. But the plan is to talk about your local San Mateo County parks and our upcoming projects, programs, and recreational opportunities that we have available right now. So just once again, my name is Catherine Wright, and I'm a park ranger for San Mateo County Parks, and we'll get started. If you have any questions, please feel free to save them for the end, and I'll get to them then. Okay, go ahead for the next slide.
Yep.
Okay, so I just wanted to start out showing you our county parks. We have 24 in total. And this park is missing our newest addition, or this map is missing our newest addition at Cal Purisma, just south of Half Moon Bay. Pardon the noise in the background, and I'm in the shop right now. But we have 24 parks in total, and you can see that on the map here. 3 regional trails, 2 historic sites, and 1 marina. And I'm going to go through some of the cool different creatures that you can see in our parks and some other great history as well. So next slide. Okay, so here's some images of different wildlife that you might find in our parks. We have, deer that you can find in many different parks. They got rabbits, and next one, we've got ferns, some of my favorites out there. Next, banana slugs. You can find them in almost every park of ours. Next, this is a blue-tailed skink and monarch butterfly. Next, got red-tailed hawks in most of our parks. California quail, it's a state bird. We've got chicken of the woods, many different types of fungus and mushrooms, especially in the wintertime in our parks. Bobcats are also very present. Pacific tree frogs. And we also have fun looking moths like this that you can see. So lots of different types of parks and lots of different types of animals. So I'm going to go through the next slide. We'll talk about a little bit about the Ohlone. So the Ohlone are the original inhabitants of this county, and we have a land acknowledgement statement we say in honor of them, and I'm going to say that now. San Mateo County Parks acknowledges that our lands are located on the ancestral homeland of the Muwekma Ohlone people, and that as the original stewards of this land, the Ohlone understood the interconnectedness of all things and maintained harmony with nature for millennia. Indigenous communities have lived in and moved through this place over hundreds of generations, and Indigenous peoples from many nations live and work in this region today. So please join us in acknowledging and honoring their ancestors, their elders, and their communities. And so this is...
How do you spell Ohlone?
Ohlone is spelled Ohlone. Ohlone. If you click back there, it's on the slide before the map. If you click the back button. And then we often think of Ohlone people maybe as depicted in this image, foraging and in a village site about 100 or so, or a couple hundred years ago. But if you click on the next button, Ohlone people, are in our communities. They're part of our communities, and this is a group that worked with Santa Clara County to get November dedicated as National Native American Heritage Month. So we want to recognize that the lands that we manage as parks today were previously managed by the Ohlone. So let's get to talking about you visiting our parks. So it's really important to plan ahead for your visit. We do have vehicle entrance fees in some of our parks. They're $6 per vehicle. But if you are 62 years or older, Monday through Friday, except for holidays, Monday through Friday is free. So if you coming into one of our parks on the weekdays with that, and you want to get in, you don't have to pay the entrance fee for some of our parks. It's also important to check that dogs are allowed in the park that you're planning to visit. Some of our parks allow dogs on leash and other ones don't, so it's good to check that out on our website. All of our playgrounds are open, so if you have young people in your life, we had to close our playgrounds a little bit last year during the early part of the pandemic, but now they are all open again. So I will highlight some of our parks that have some of the best playgrounds available too. Also, we have updated guidelines from the CDC. If you are unvaccinated, face coverings are required when outdoors within 6 feet of people that are not part of your household. And if you are vaccinated, then face coverings are not required outdoors unless attending a crowded outdoor event. So that is the latest from the CDC about masking guidelines. Next slide. So something that we know, and we have also just it's been reiterated throughout this last year, parks are important and crucial to foster physical, mental, and emotional health. Parks are amazing places to be. We saw a large uptick in users last year because they were one of the safest places to be in the pandemic, safest place to hang out with friends and family outside. And a lot of gyms were closed, indoor gyms. So people took to the parks to help maintain their physical health as well as their mental and emotional health. So I'm just going to go through a couple of facts and figures here back on that previous slide still. But if just 20 minutes in nature improves concentration and reduces the need for ADHD or ADD medications, and it helps improve cognitive function and memory. A 30-minute visit to a park can improve heart health, circulation, and lower cholesterol, blood glucose, and blood pressure levels. Walking in nature also helps reduce inflammation and boost your immune system. And interacting with green space also helps increase your social interactions and helps prevent diseases like dementia. Frequent exposure to nature also helps reduce anxiety and depression, and it promotes a sense of self well-being and fulfillment. And it's a great place to learn more about your local environment. When listening to bird songs and observing animals have also shown to promote well-being and reduce stress and improve your mood. So overall, it's a very great, easy, fun way to get out and have a more improved health. And we know this, and we work with San Mateo County Health to run the Park RX program, where we work with pediatricians and family medicine doctors to have them write prescriptions for their patients to come out and visit nature on a regular basis. And we coordinate trips for patients to visit our local parks. And in those visits, pre-pandemic, but in those visits, the blood pressure and heart rate readings were taken before and after the visit, and they've shown a decrease for patients. So it's scientifically proven that being in the parks, being outdoors, improves your physical and mental and emotional health. So we hope that you come visit. I'm going to go through now a bunch of local parks and some great places to come and check out. First one being Coyote Point. It's where I'm at today. It's in San Mateo. Not great internet quality, but that's not what you need when you visit the park. There's a $6 entrance fee. It's dog friendly on leash. Lots of great picnic areas. You can make reservations now too. And Curiosity is this amazing children's museum that you can come visit in our park. We also have 3 different playgrounds, including Magic Mountain, which is pictured here. It's one of the most popular playgrounds in our park system, as well as in San Mateo or on the peninsula. And the Bay Trail in general is a great trail that you can take to connect to other parks along the Bay Shore. But right now it is under construction, so I'd recommend checking that out in a few months' time. Next slide. All right, our next park is Huddart County Park. It's in Woodside. It's in the Redwood forest and beautiful redwoods, and it climbs up from 84 area, Highway 84, all the way up to Skyline. So it's got like a variety of habitats mixed in there. No dogs are allowed at Huddart. There's also a $6 entrance fee. Lots of great picnic areas. You can make reservations for groups up to 100 people. There's a playground there as well, and lots of great hiking trails and some other cool amenities to check out. It's a great place, especially if you have a horse or want to go horseback riding. Next slide. Flood Park in Menlo Park. It's a great smaller park, and it has lots of beautiful heritage trees, heritage oak trees. No dogs are allowed here. This park doesn't have an entrance fee. Lots of great picnic areas if you want to reserve some. A playground, other amenities such as tennis court, volleyball courts, and horseshoe pits as pictured there. Flood Park is a great place that has just nice big lawn area to come and spread out on if you want to have a picnic or want to relax and read. Next slide. The next one is Edgewood Park in Redwood City. This is a park and natural preserve, and this park, it doesn't have any entrance fee there. There's several different places you can park and walk in. No dogs are permitted here. There are some picnic areas, lots of amazing hiking trails, and amazing spring wildflowers that are still going off right now. And what's pictured here are some owl's clover. Owl's clover are one of the host plants for the endangered checker spot butterfly that you can find at this park as well. Next slide. So San Pedro Valley Park is located in Pacifica. It is a beautiful hilly park. It's got lots of coastal scrub habitats, some nice, there's a nice creek that runs through it that you can see, and there's a steelhead run fish that come up the creek and spawn from the ocean. There's a $6 entrance fee here. No dogs are permitted here. Lots of great picnic areas too, and great hiking trails. There is a visitor center. It's still closed at the moment, but hopefully within the next few months that'll be opening up as well. And there's also a nature trail there with some fun nature panels about what you're seeing on the trail. Next slide. Okay, Junipero Serra Park in San Bruno. Junipero Serra Park is fun. It's in the oak woodlands. There's also some eucalyptus groves. It's kind of a mixture of shady habitats and some nice sunny areas, as you can see in the photo. And it's got a $6 entrance fee, dog friendly, so you can bring your dogs on leash there. There's some great picnic areas that you can reserve. There's 2 playgrounds at this park, including 2 amazing slides that are 54 feet long. So if you're interested in that, or if you have young people in your life that might be interested in visiting, that's pretty cool to check out. Lots of nice hiking trails, some nature trail panels as well, and some horseshoe pits. Next slide. So here's just a few more shots of Junipero Serra Park. You can see the oak woodlands featured in the upper left photo. The upper right photo, you can see out to the bay. There's some great views. You can see across the bay on good days, and you have a really nice view of the airport from there, so you can check out planes landing and taking off. Next slide. And here's a picture of those two gigantic slides that I mentioned before. They're really fun to check out, especially for anyone who's, I think it's older than 7 or so is the age range on that. Okay, next slide. Our next park I want to review, and I think this is the last one that I have selected for us to go over today, is San Bruno Mountain, and it's located in Daly City, Brisbane area. And this is a gorgeous park. It was saved from being developed like many of our parks, and it has gorgeous views of the whole Bay Area from different angles around the mountain. So in this shot, you can see downtown San Francisco. From other angles in the mountain, you can see the East Bay. You can see out to the Farallon Islands, and down into the southern part of the peninsula, just depending on where you're standing on the mountain at any given time. But the mountain has a $6 entrance fee. No dogs are permitted there. There's a couple of picnic areas, not a ton, and it's mostly full of hiking trails. So lots of great hiking trails. And right now, we have some exhibits available on one of the hiking trails that goes over, it kind of has a walk through the solar system. So you can take a way scaled down, very, very scaled down hike through the solar system, and it's about 3 miles to go through it. So I think those are still available at the park right now, if you want to check those out. Next slide. And here's some different shots from San Bruno Mountain. The one on the right is of the Bog Trail, and the one on the left is of the Saddle Trail. So really nice open views and some nice shady areas as well. So definitely recommend checking that park out. Next slide. Okay, and so if you click twice, there should be 2 photos that show up here. Great, thank you. So this park is really important for sensitive species as well, including the some threatened and endangered butterflies, like the San Bruno elfin that you can see pictured here, and the little larval stage is on the left, and then the adult stage is on the right. And these are some of the creatures that were used to help save and preserve this space for us all to recreate in. Okay, I saw a question come in. Let's see. Do the websites for the individual parks indicate whether or not they have bike trails? That's a great question. So on our park page, you can go look, you can select trails under one of the tabs. You can select trails, and then there's a really cool feature on our trails page where you can select what kind of trails you're looking for, or trail use you're looking for. So if you're looking for trails that bicycles can be used on, you can select that, and then it filters out all the trails that you can't use your bikes on, and it only shows you the ones that you can. Same for dogs, equestrian, accessible trails, all those different types of uses. You can use that feature on our website. So you can just, the link to our website will be included later, and you can just go there and check that out. Okay, next slide. Okay, so we've got a lot of programming that we've done in the last year. Typically, we do a lot of in-person programming with something every weekend in our parks, but we had to switch over to virtual and self-guided programming for safety in the last year. So we are going to be shifting our gears a little bit back to in-person programming soon. But in the meantime, we still have a lot of great resources online too. So we have all the webinars that we've hosted in the last year are available to watch on our YouTube channel. You just have to search San Mateo County Parks on YouTube, and our channel should come up. So if you're interested in bats, or you're interested in hawks and things like that, just go over to our YouTube channel and you can find out more information about that. I saw a question come in about camping. So Memorial County Park is the place to go for camping in our park system. And you can go on our website and make reservations. Although I will warn you that if you're looking for a weekend, I think Memorial Park is booked out through the summer at this point. It's a very popular location. But if you want to go on a weeknight, then you shouldn't have a problem finding an availability. And then fishing. So there's only really one location that you can fish in our county parks, and that's at Coyote Point. Coyote Point, you can fish off of the breakwater and some other spots, but you need to have a fishing license if you're over 16 years old. So that's really the only place in our park system you can go fishing. Next on our self-guided and virtual programming, we have a couple of apps I want to talk about that you can download for free on your phone. We have the iNaturalist app, which is a great app for you to discover what you find in the parks. So you can look for, if you see a flower on the trail and you want to know what species it is, you can take a picture with this app, and then it'll tell you what it might be. So that's an excellent app, and it also helps us because every time you take an observation and upload it into the database, it tells us, someone found this flower on this trail at this time. So it helps us kind of create a database of all the different species that are being identified in our parks too. So if you want to nerd out on plants, animals, fungi, whatever in our parks, anything that's alive, then check out the iNaturalist app. It's free in the App Store for both Android and iPhone. And then the Outer Spatial app is a free app as well that we are a part of. It has a bunch of local open spaces and park agencies in the Bay Area and throughout the country. But we specifically are focused on the Bay Area section here. And that app has a lot of cool information on it and some self-guided hikes. So you can check that out. And you can, for example, we have a geology of earthquakes hike that we normally lead in person, but because we were doing distance meetings and everything and programming this last year, we put that hike onto this app, and you can go out to Sawyer Camp Trail and take that hike with the app and learn about why earthquakes happen here. So that's a good place to check out. I recommend downloading that app as well. And last but not least, we're really active on our social media channels this last year, including Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And on Facebook, on our Facebook channel, if you just search San Mateo County Parks, will come up. We have about 30 or more reading with a ranger programs. So we have a ranger reading books. They're mostly geared towards elementary school students, but if you have young people in your life and you think they would be interested in that, or you're interested in hearing some storybooks about nature and some fun different themes, check out all of our videos are still available on our Facebook page, so you can go over there and check that out. I saw a question come in about wheelchair accessible trails, and not all of our trails are wheelchair accessible, but as I was mentioning a little bit earlier, if you go to our website and you check out our trails page on the website, it's under one of the tabs. You can select which trails are accessible, and then it'll filter out all the non-accessible trails and only feature the ones that are wheelchair accessible, and then it will show you that list. So we do have a fair amount of wheelchair accessible trails, but it would be good to check out that list before you head out to the parks. So you can click ahead. Yeah, of course. Oh, that's a fun picture of me playing ukulele for the reading with the ranger. So if you're interested in seeing some fun campfire songs, that's in one of our Reading with the Ranger programs too. Next slide. Oops. Okay. There's an outer spatial plug. I think that might be it. Yeah. Okay. So we also have some self-guided programming going on right now. So the Take a Hike Challenge, we had our first Take a Hike Challenge last year, and it was super popular. So we're doing it again this year. And we have 7 parks selected. We have 7 hiking routes, 1 for each park. And we have a photo challenge location on each of those routes. So what we ask you is to go out to each of those parks and hike that route. Take a selfie if you want, or have somebody else take a photo of you at this selected photo challenge location. And then you can submit your photos and everything to say that you've completed the challenge. That comes to me. And then if you're one of the first 200 people to complete the challenge, we have some fun prizes. So if you're interested in that, we'll be putting a link in the chat later for that. And we do have alternative routes available that are more accessible this year too. So options that are less steep and wheelchair accessible too. So some of them are slightly different than the regular route. So if you're looking for that different option, it's a little bit lower on the web page. When we'll send that link out at the end of the program. Next. All right, we also have a Junior Ranger Challenge, which is similar to the Take a Hike Challenge. It's geared for youth ages 7 to 12, and it focuses on environmental education and teaching youth about some of the cool habitats in our parks, learning about some hot topics like fire ecology, pun intended, and some really cool historical sites that we also manage in our park system. So if you have young people in your life that you think might be interested in that, I would recommend steering them towards the Junior Ranger Challenge. And you can also complete the Junior Ranger Challenge and the Take a Hike Challenge at the same time. So if you're wanting to do both of the challenges, you can do them simultaneously. And we'll get the link to you at the end of the presentation as well for that. Next, we have volunteer opportunities in our parks. So if you're interested in volunteering with us, you can head over to our volunteer page and contact our volunteer coordinator, whether you're in a group or you want to join an event that's already happening. He can work with you to plan an event that you come out and work on, whether it's pulling weeds in our parks, planting native plants, picking up trash on the beaches or something, or helping build trails. We just had a trail build at Memorial Park last weekend. So lots of different cool opportunities to help out and give back to your local parks. Next. Okay, so those were some programs that we've got going on. If you're interested in joining any of those, we'll have the links at the end of the presentation. And next, I'm going to go through some of the fun projects that our park system are doing right now. So if we go back one slide, this is one of the 9 new restrooms that we have put in at Memorial County Park. Over the last year and a half, Memorial Park has been getting a major facelift, a facility facelift, if you will. And we've replaced 9 of the restrooms with these really nice shower and restroom buildings. They have a built-in water spigot, as you can see on the side, a water bottle filling station. They have let's see, they're accessible restrooms. They're ADA compliant as well. We've also resurfaced the park roads. We've improved many of the paths of travel. We're upgrading campsites with new or improved picnic benches and cooking surfaces. And we have just completed a brand new sewer treatment plant and new water and sewage lines throughout the park. So some of the improvements you're not going to see, but they're drastically helping to bring this park into the future instead of, back in the past, it was, a lot of the infrastructure was either from the 20s when it was first built or a little bit later on. And so we're kind of bringing it up to the future and getting it ready for our centennial, which will be in 2024, just 3 years away. Memorial Park will be turning 100, and the whole Parks Department for that matter, because it is our oldest park. So we're really excited, and we're doing all these improvement projects to get it ready for turning 100. Our next slide. We're doing a forest health and community safety initiative in a few of our parks. We have a webinar coming up about the project specifically in Huddart and Woodland County Parks, which this graphic is from. We also are doing projects in Quarry Park along the coast in near Half Moon Bay area, and a couple of other park locations too. And the work for these projects is focused on creating shaded fuel breaks where small trees under 8 inches in diameter, tall brush, dead and dying vegetation, any of those in the park area, the project areas, gets cleared out so that there's less fuel load in case of a fire, but it also helps create a healthy place for the forest to kind of grow into those areas and kind of clears it out for new growth. So with these projects at Huddart and Wonderlet County Parks, we're partnering with the San Mateo Resource Conservation District and CAL FIRE, and over 400 acres will be treated with these 2 projects that are over the course of 2 years. So we're excited about this, and we're going to be hopefully doing more projects like these in our parks in the years to come. Next slide. Okay, so our next and final project that I'm going to go over today is the Coyote Point Eastern Promenade Rejuvenation Project. This is a picture from the plans. It's not the most detailed photo here. It's the best I could find, but you can see at Coyote Point, if any of you have visited along the promenade, the rising sea levels, the rising bay water is slowly eating away at the existing facilities and the existing walkway there. And so we are going to, we have just started this project, and it's going to be pushing back the shoreline a bit to help that with that wave action and help absorb that wave action for continuing sea level rise in the years to come. And it's going to build a seawall that is designed with climate change adaptations, as well as relocating a restroom and a new parking lot area, and creating this nice sandy beach that's shaped as a crenulate bay. It'll be a really great place for everyone to come and recreate in the bay again, because at the moment the bay beach area has kind of worn away over time. So this is a project that has just started at Coyote Point, and we're looking forward to completion in, I think, spring of next year. So that's our last project, and I want to open it up for any questions you might have. That's my contact information there if you want to contact me directly. The parks website that I've been mentioning over and over again is right there in blue. These are our social media handles and links. And if you want to take a picture of this with your phone or take a screenshot, you can save these for future reference. And then on the next slide, I will have all the links that I talked about in the presentation that you can take a picture of and have a reference of to look up. But all the other information is also available on our website too. So if you want to find out more about that, you can check it out. Any questions?
You didn't mention mountain lions when you talked about animals.
We do, yeah, we do have mountain lions in our parks.
So what do you recommend people do when they see a mountain lion?
Yeah, I mean, what the general recommendation is if you encounter a mountain lion, to make yourself as big as possible. So that includes, putting your arms over your head and waving them around. If you have kids with you, picking them up and holding them close to you so that you look like one large creature instead of a couple of small creatures, and making as much noise as possible. Really, the mountain lion is ideally looking for an easy prey, an easy target to hunt. And if you're making a bunch of noise and waving about and everything, it's gonna get scared off. They don't like humans, so they typically try to avoid us. But those are what the recommended courses of actions in case you do run into a mountain lion. But it doesn't happen very often. And some of the things that you can do to kind of prevent potential run-ins with the mountain lion are to hike with other people. And if you hike alone, you're more likely to run into a mountain lion. It's not necessarily going to happen. I hike alone a lot and I've never encountered one, knock on wood. But yeah, it's so if you go with a group, then you're much less likely to encounter one. And if you are alone and you do encounter one, you need to make a lot of noise, yell at them, wave your arms around, don't turn your back and run, stay facing them, and wait for them to go away. And then if you do encounter one and you think has been aggressive, then you can always report that encounter to Cal Tip Wildlife Hotline. You can check that out. Google just Cal Tip Wildlife Hotline. It's a service provided by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
I have another question on
Yeah.
being a park ranger. How did you get started as a park ranger?
Yeah, we actually have just had some positions open for park ranger twos, and we're gonna do some hiring next week, hopefully. But if you are interested, or someone is in your life is interested in becoming a park ranger, we always recommend starting out as a seasonal employee if you can, because it's a great introduction into the day-to-day work that we do in our department. And that's how I started. I started working as a park aide, a seasonal employee at Memorial County Park. And I did that throughout college. And then after college, I started working as a park ranger and have been here since. So it's been a really nice career I've experienced, and a lot of great fun, and in helping people learn more about their local parks and enjoy them.
Great, thank you.
Has anyone been to any of our parks before?
I was going to ask you, which is your favorite park?
Yeah, it's hard to choose, but I'd have to choose Memorial County Park because I grew up camping there, and it's just been a great experience, and it's been fun to go from a regular visitor to an employee, and still have that magical admiration for that place. For those of you who aren't familiar with Memorial County Park, it's located in the heart of the Redwood forest, and there's a beautiful creek that runs through it, and tons of great campgrounds and an amphitheater with movie nights and fun stuff for campers. So it's a really fun place, and it's only about 45 minutes from Redwood City, so it's not too far away to get to a place that feels like you're lost in the middle of nowhere, with a good sense of that. But second choice would be Fitzgerald Marine Reserve, which is on the coast side. I didn't put that one in this slideshow, but easily could have been in there. And Fitzgerald Marine Reserve is an amazing park. It's got these tide pools that if you go at the right time, and you go out at low tide, especially a negative low tide, you can see hundreds of species of creatures that are living in the tide pools, and it's just so fun to go out and explore. So those are probably my top two if I can't pick more. I see a question came into the chat. Oh yeah, Crystal Springs Trail and Sawyer Camp Trail are really great places to check out. And then a question, which parks are more likely to have rattlesnakes? That's a great question. So rattlesnakes are being seen more frequently right now. I know a lot of people are posting about snakes that are out on trails, and rattlesnakes and snakes in general are, they like a lot of sunlight because they need to soak in that sunlight and to regulate their body temperature. So you're going to find them in areas that are a lot sunnier typically. So grasslands, chaparral habitats, oak woodlands areas. So at places that have a lot of those habitats, you're more likely to see rattlesnakes. Sawyer Camp Trail, we see some rattlesnakes. Edgewood County Park, I've seen a couple there. And even Huddart and Wonder Lake County parks. Each of those have, different pockets in the parks where you're more likely to see the rattlesnakes. And for the follow-up question, I'm sure we're gonna get is, if you encounter a snake, if you can just kind of like just step back, especially if it's a rattlesnake, and let it pass if it decides to pass. If it's not moving, and I just recommend that you turn around and go back where you came from. If you do have a hiking stick with you, a hiking pole, you can, prod a little bit, but we don't want you to, hurt the snake because they are an important part of our ecosystem. So even if it's a rattlesnake, rattlesnakes are really important and crucial to the health of a park ecosystem, and they don't deserve to die just because we're scared of them or we don't like them. So if you see a rattlesnake, know they serve a purpose in our parks and our ecosystems too. Any other questions?
Help me understand where Memorial Park is.
Yeah, it's a great question. Let's see. Could you possibly go back to the second slide of the presentation, Tina?
Yep, I will try.
Okay, sorry. It might be easiest just to exit out of it and then restart it. Yeah, but while you're doing that, so Memorial County Park is located in a really small town called Loma Mar. Two different words, Loma Mar, and it is west of Redwood City on Highway 84, and then you take Pescadero Creek Road southwest of La Honda a little bit more, and then you're there in Loma Mar. And so that was the area that was affected by the CZU lightning complex last year, and we did have a fair amount of burned area in the park just next to Memorial Park. It wasn't affecting Memorial Park, but it was affecting Pescadero Creek County Park, and over 2,000 acres in that park burned, unfortunately. If you're more familiar with the coast side, you could, if you go south from Half Moon Bay to Pescadero, and then go inland about 10 minutes from Pescadero, then you'll get right to Memorial County Park too.
Yeah, or by San Gregorio, if you go in from San Gregorio, it'll take you there too.
Yeah, you can get there too. Map here, if at the very bottom of the map, this is at the bottom of our county,
Right there,
you can see that like little complex of green, and it's right there. So that's where Memorial Park is located.
Sure. It's that way, John. It's that way.
I spied it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. You'll find it.
Okay, any more questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Fantastic.
Catherine, for joining us. This was very informative. And before the attendees go, I set up a poll. If you can help me answer that, that'd be great. So Catherine, we will talk more. We'll think about more interesting topics too. Thank you for
Yeah,
educating
of course.
all of
I
us.
can go
This is
in
great.
more detail on any of the
Yeah.
parks. I just wanted to give a nice overview of what
Yeah.
we're doing.
I didn't know we can go camping in Memorial Park. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and we're also going to be at the county fair. So if you come to the county fair, we'll have a booth there, but you're getting kind of like a insight into what's going to be at our booth today. So there'll be a couple of videos playing as well, but we won't have someone staffing it.
Right. I might take my kids to do the Ranger Challenge.
Oh, and yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.